It's highly visible and it's widely regarded as a pest plant, but very little is known about the impact of marram grass below the sand. Now, Auckland-based PhD student Renee Johansen aims to change all that.
My project investigates the mycorrhizal fungi in the roots of marram grass. Marram grass is an invasive plant in New Zealand and also in a few other countries, including the United States. It was brought out here to stabilise sand dunes, to enable farming and forestry and just to stop erosion. But unfortunately, it's almost too successful at that role, and now it's moved beyond the areas in which it was planted, and it's starting to displace native vegetation, and it doesn't provide a great habitat for our insects and other shore species like lizards, things like that. You know, they're going to prefer to associate with the native species. And there's a lot of restoration in New Zealand going on right now around sand dunes, and often they're ripping up marram grass and replacing it with native species, but nobody's looking at what the below ground impacts of that plant have been, and it is known to be a mycorrhizal plant. So mycorrhizae are fungi which associate with plant roots, and they benefit the plant. They provide nutrients to the plant in exchange for carbon which the plant has derived. But unfortunately they don't benefit all plants equally, and it looks like there's some quite specific relationships between some plant species and some fungal species. So this means an invasive plant may have an impact even when it's been removed, because it might leave a changed fungal community behind, which isn't great for the plants which are now trying to exist in that space.
And as part of her PhD, she's been awarded a prestigious Fulbright scholarship that will allow her to study at Duke University in the United States.
It's a huge opportunity and a huge privilege, and I'm sure it will help set the course for the rest of my career, just with the people that I'm hoping to meet and the connections I'm hoping to make. And you can't really beat being on the ground and exploring opportunities while you're still a student and thinking about what that might mean for you in the future and the work that you want to do.
And Renee explains just why she applied for the scholarship.
I felt that my project needed international input, because I thought that I needed expertise from offshore, and that would enrich the project. And it also means that my project can have an international scale, and it means that I can investigate an invasive plant in both New Zealand and the United States, and I can take a biogeographical angle to the project, and I can say, what is this plant associating with in its native range, and what is it associating with in New Zealand and the United States? And because of the Fulbright, I have the financial backing to undertake that. That's going to enable me to access some pretty exciting technology. Landcare Research and other institutions in New Zealand can certainly access some of that technology, and in fact up in Auckland we have the ability to perform next generation sequencing, but every lab has a slightly different approach, and it's such new technology, it's still quite untried and untested, that it's great, I think, that you've got these different institutions using it in slightly different ways, because then we can all work through issues and problems from different angles, and we can basically see what works, because we still don't know a lot about the best way to use this technology. So my supervisor especially is encouraging me to look at the different ways they do things there and see how that approach might work better or in a complementary fashion to how we do it in Auckland. And that's why I think it's important and exciting that New Zealand students working in these kind of specialised areas get a chance to network with overseas collaborators and even be based overseas for a time, because there's so few of us doing it worldwide. We must be communicating with each other all the time, I think, and we should be communicating our failures as well as our successes.
Renee hopes to start her Fulbright scholarship early next year.